And now we've got to report, now that the effort.
No, yeah.
Okay, so this quote says, in a world that relentlessly races to the bottom, you lose if you also race to the bottom. The only way to win is to race to the top. The only way to be indispensable is to be different. Expertise gives you enough insight to reinvent what everyone else assumes is the truth. You can train yourself to matter. You are not your resume, you are your work. So today we are talking about the work. Oh, I really don't like her. Just kidding. Okay, so I am going to, I think it'd be helpful if you have your phone to scan this QR code. So what this QR code links to is an Outfront article. So Outfront is a digital magazine that KW has. It is not updated, I would say, like every day or as frequent as you would think. So this article you're going to see is actually, I think, dated 2020. And you're going to go, okay, cool. Like we just talked about the now market and Kimber's sharing the old stuff with me. Why I love this article is it's a true back to basics, almost like the Millionaire Real Estate Agent in a quick article that we can go and assess. So we're going to talk about the article as we go through these slides. So if you have it on your phone, it might be helpful. Okay, so the first thing I want us to check is if we have a smart database. So I'm going to define smart database right here for a smart business. A smart business knows who their customers are and has a meaningful relationship with them. Easy enough. So just self-assessment. Do you know who your customers are? And do you have a meaningful relationship with them? You might already be writing down a little note. Like, I'm not going to get the KW back. One of those I need to check in, right? Okay, so we're going to go through an essential, effective, and exceptional database today because again, you're going to be like, I've seen this before, but I want to do a self-assessment. However, I love to just throw in this math problem. It's in the article, but start from scratch. Do I have a big enough database to hit my goals? I got into the business and I throw around like I'm going to make $150,000 like it's just a fun number. So we're going to break down what that actually looks like and if our database is large enough for us to hit our goals. So we take our goal GCI, which is gross commission income, divide that by average commission in our area or in our market, and that equals the number of deals we need. Okay, great. I just need to close 10 deals. But then you write that number down. What does that number mean? I need to close 10 deals. Cool. Like, again, to Alex's point, like, I just thought they were going to come out of the sky, right? Like, I thought real estate was going to be so easy. So now we need to break it down of like, well, where does that come from? Well, we take the number of deals and divide it by, this comes from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, opportunity for conversion, which is a random percentage that we're just going to do the math on. It's like pi. It's not the why. You just write it down. It's like 3.14. Okay, and then that equals the minimum, the floor number of contacts that we need in our database. And we're going to send out these slides as well. So if you don't have a picture, don't have the notes totally written down, but that's where we need to start. So that's kind of our first assessment. Do I know my people? Do I have a meaningful relationship with them? And do I have enough people to hit my goal? And maybe you even wrote down a fourth thing of, oh, I don't have a goal. I need to figure out what my goal is for this year. Okay. There was probably a lot just right in there. So now we're going to break it down to what that looks like as far as 3 levels of a database. So I believe, and part of this class that I teach is I teach it primarily to Ignite students. So people that have been in the business less than usually 60 days, right? So this is usually the audience that I am teaching this, and yet I think I get more people that have been in the business a long time go, whoa, like I do not have this set up yet, right? So that's why I wanted to bring it to this group. So I think that you can get to an exceptional database in 90 days, even if it is like day one for you. I truly believe that. So we're going to break that down. An essential database is just that it's functional. You have the pieces of information that you need to communicate with people. We talk about 36 touch and 19 to connect and all this stuff. And like, well, that's great. But if you don't have people and ways to contact them, that's like a monopoly, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Like you need that before you can start going and buying houses and hotels, right? So NAPE is the acronym that you want to remember, like the nape of your neck. And so your first step is, your first step is making sure that you have those pieces of information for everybody in your database. The easiest way, and someone else can chime in of other ways, but the easiest way to get complete contact information for someone in your database is first making sure you're reaching out to them 4 times a year. Because usually, even if you went to one of Nicole's classes and she said, let's get everybody off your phone, you're going to have a lot of names, a lot of phone numbers, very little of the other information. And so just calling everybody 4 times a year, inviting them to the Easter egg hunt, making sure they don't miss out on the party that you throw. I mean, that's part of the why of like any brokerage and why we go to all the work to host those and subsidize them is because this is a big piece of you being able to drive value to your people, right? So contact information is the essential part of your database. So after that, after you have that, is my database effective? So again, back to that meaningful communication question I asked. Do I have planned and meaningful communication? How would you define meaningful communication? There's no wrong answer. When someone
you're giving them value, right?
Yeah.
You're giving them something that is meaningful to them.
To them.
It's about
their neighborhood. You've listened at some point of what they're interested in.
Yeah. Had a board conversation and you're like, oh, this person really wants a cabin here. Oh, this just came up. I'm gonna have a meaningful conversation.
Yep. You know that their like dream is to own an Airbnb in Southern Utah. Like those are the things that you have written down. Yep. Did you have one too? She's kind of that same thing. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I like to put the boring obtain permission, and yet it is extremely important with the regulations that all of us have, right? We're real estate agents that are licensed with the Division of Real Estate. So us not being TCPA compliant, not being marketing to people we don't have permission to market to, that can be a problem, right? So we're just in relationship with someone. We're not spamming them. We're, we're having a two-way conversation. They're in our database. And then to Rusty's point, we're collecting personal information, insights, things that they prefer, just preferences of even Command has a spot of how does someone prefer to be contacted. You can even use your database to record something like that. Some people love texting. Some people hate texting. If you've expressed something to someone, wouldn't it be nice if you could tell that they've recorded something like that, right? And then segmenting and grouping is huge. So in Command, we can do things like just good old-fashioned tagging people in our database. So I have a database that has a list of names, a list of phone numbers, maybe email. Let's say I've got all the essential. Well, what does that look like if by filtering by 2 tags, I could go see who are the people that bought with me the last 5 years? I could do that if I'm implementing a tagging system in Command. Who are the people that have sold with me in the last 5 years? Those are the types of things that we could quickly look at. Who are my VIPs? Where I would want to spend a certain amount of money to invite them to a party or to a happy hour because they've given me business in the past. Tagging your database allows you to know that at a couple of clicks versus just a name of 300 people and go, I don't know, everyone's important, right? Everyone's important, but you need to know there's a group that you're going to get a higher ROI, right? And that's kind of another powerful piece of our database. So exceptional is all of the above, and we have automated communication around our database. I am not making eye contact with anyone in this room when I say what I'm about to say, but I have a list of probably, at least personally, 6 people that made over $250,000 last year that run their database off of an Excel spreadsheet. Again, not talking about anyone in this room. And they're out there, right? So this isn't me saying you can make $250,000 a year off of an Excel spreadsheet. At that conversation, I love to have with an agent, because I just say to them immediately, it is amazing that you have such strong relationships with people that you're able to make $250,000 off of being in relationship with them. Automating that relationship, how much bigger net does that cast? I know that person implementing a few systems in their database is going to at least double their business. Because there's no way that they're actually reaching out to everybody, right? There's just no way. But then, but I got it all down so that I can print labels and invite them to the party. That's like pretty much what they're doing, right? And that's only one piece. That's an important piece, but that's just one piece. Okay, so Nicole already talked about this. The only thing I want to add is just the Gary Keller quote. If you aren't hitting your goal, you only have 2 problems. Your database either isn't large enough or you're not following up with it consistently. So take last year, 2023. Did I hit my goal?
Throw it away.
Yes. No.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Is it large enough? Did you follow up with it consistently? Another conversation that I have with people a lot recently is a shifted market is when I realized, tell me if this resonates with you. A shifted market is when I realized that I was ignoring my sphere. Okay. So we're going to go through some of like the just tactical things, the tools that you have available. We're going to move through a couple of these and then we're going to kind of loop back into it. So the command app, the reason why I kind of purposely bring it up in every tech conversation or any training is because usually I always grab 1 or 2 people that are like, oh, I haven't downloaded that yet. The command app is probably the most, okay, my opinion, I'm on the my opinion box, the most powerful piece of tech that we released in the last 3 years. Very reliable, it's mobile. I don't know about you, but we're real estate agents, so mobile is like very important. And it links 100% to your desktop database. So anything I go and add in my phone, it's now just on my desktop. So if I have an assistant that's back at the office, I meet somebody, I go add them, they're now in my database. So you having the command app, having it downloaded and logged in is going to be something you want to make sure is checked off your list. Okay, this is just kind of a reminder of what we're trying to do when we're reaching out to all these people, either leads or SOI. what those touches look like. So I'm gonna kind of jump over to the, and you don't have to follow along. I'm just gonna look at the article that I shared with you. So tell me what I'm gonna kind of call on somebody. So hopefully this resonates with somebody. So this article primarily focuses on lead gen, but it talks a little bit about like your existing business, your repeat referral business. But one of the questions about how agents can immediately strengthen your lead gen, right? Because maybe some of us just wrote down my database isn't large enough, right? You want to focus on prospecting and marketing over lead receiving. So I'm going to read the definition of those two, and then I want somebody to tell me like what they're thinking when I define these. So prospecting and marketing. Prospecting is about finding people, and marketing is about attracting them so they find you. So finding people, attracting them so they find me. Lead receiving. I had a lot come up when I read this. When agents rely on passive lead generation, casual referrals, and luck. Oh, that's fun. To build their business. This can be dangerous, especially when the market shifts. This was written in 2020. Thoughts about what I just said?
It's March, so we're going together.
March 17th. Code. Any thoughts about that? Like, or double click. Like, amen. Yes.
I remember going into the COVID time,
Yeah.
and I just buried my head into my SOI and just decided I don't care, because there was a lot of question of what's going to happen,
Yeah.
in our world, what was going to happen. And I just chose to just put my head in the sand, talk to my clients, my SOI as much as possible. And I felt that that's what exploded a lot of my business during those times.
Mm-hmm.
And then life got really busy.
Yep.
And then a lot of this stuff kind of fell to the wayside.
Yep.
And here we are now, right? I'm realizing, crap, I didn't do enough over the last year and a half when it comes to this stuff.
Because you were holding auctions every weekend.
That's
and
right.
you were stoked in the amount in your bank account, and every time you were good.
That's right.
I just think it's funny how many times we can get kicked in the nuts and how many times you get that phone call, like, hey, I bought a house, you're like, congratulations,
Uh-huh.
that's wonderful. I just listed my house, you have a buyer for it? Like, how many times does that happen and we still don't touch our database that much?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those are the moments that you're like, I'm gonna, that's usually when you get pushed into action, right? When your business is a little bit down, when you're worried about COVID, those are the times, we are talented people that have an amazing industry at our fingertips that we can go make millions of dollars. And this is our check of why is it that those moments are what pushes us to an amazing place, right? Did you have a comment too?
Yeah, so that just, the luck part, it reminded me that brings up all the teenage feelings of, I'm the last kid picked on the team. And just that overwhelming feeling of, yep, I'm the last picked again. And all those insecurities that come with, oh, they didn't like me, they didn't why, all of those feelings. But that is leaving it to them doing it to me, instead of me being proactive and me turning the script to being more proactive. And then that gives me power to do something about it instead of just feeling sorry for myself.
I love that. And one comment that I'll make just about that, and then I'll grab you guys. We talk about, I remember day one of being at Keller Williams, we talked about, we start team meeting at 11 because lead generation time is 9 to 11, right? So from the time I stepped foot in a Keller Williams building, I knew that that was one of our core fundamentals. And so when I would have, if I have a moment like that, usually my check is, am I spending that 9 to 12 time as an agent focused on finding people? And do I have systems set up for marketing that I am purposely attracting them? And most of the time when we're like, we're not hitting our goal and we're kind of down, we can't answer that question confidently, yes. And so the good thing is there's something we can do about it, and it's holding that time block accountable. But that is a really good point and just like a true feeling that I know a lot of us have had. Chris, did you?
Yeah, one of my favorite moments of family reunion was Sarah Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
Built-in power. Kimber and I were talking about this yesterday. Sarah Reynolds built-in power, and I don't know how many of you saw this. At the end of her presentation, which was pretty impressive, talking about how she built a $1 billion sales revenue company that generates 31 million GCI. So I think the credibility issue is sort of covered there. One of her summaries was, if I had it to do all over again, if all you do, the only thing you do is to take care of your SOI, your business is gonna. Literally, I don't know how more clear the message gets.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, she's one of our top producers, and that's where it is.
Yep. Yeah, and it is insane. I've seen the reports that show what you just repeated. So the reason why Kaylee,
I think we need to also remember, like, being proactive and letting, like, the agents that do have a big book of business, like, on social media, I look busy, and so I've lost a lot of deals because they're like, oh, you're too busy for me. I'm like, no, I'm not.
oh,
Like,
you love that, yeah.
yeah, even though that's how you get business, is showing that you're busy. But anyway, like, getting them out there and connecting with them and taking care of your database and letting them know you still want their business. will help.
Thank you for your sharing your message.
And so let's use the social media as an example. I'm out there, I'm doing stuff, I'm dropping off pop buys, like, I'm doing all the things. Am I putting it out in the universe I'll receive all the leads. You guys know I'm here to help you. I'm here to receive, or doing all of that. And in your prospecting time, when someone has reached out or connected, you being purposeful about that connection, right? Then it's you saying, I'm not too busy for you. You are saying, hey, I would love little Johnny and little Sally to come to the Easter egg. And they're like, wow, really remembers Johnny and Sally's name. You know, those are the things that make the biggest difference. So one comment that I wanted to make, because this is where I get very passionate about it, because this is the vessel that takes us to making our database something that makes us $100,000, $200,000, right? And again, that math problem, you get to create the business that you want based on that math problem at the beginning, right? That's cool. It's not, oh, well, so-and-so like got their business from their dad that was a real estate agent, right? Back to that whole luck thing. Or I used to hate as a new agent, like all the agents on the panels that would be like, I get my business from my spirit. And I'm like, that's great for you, right? At some point, they started it, they built it, and they were very intentional about referral, right? So then once I learned, like, oh, this is the recipe, I'm like, guess what? I can cook too, you know? So one thing I want to talk about just with 19 to connect, and this article kind of goes through it. And again, this is going to seem so basic, but if someone registers on your site, if someone just reaches out to you, right? Like you're intentionally marketing to attract, and they clicked on a house in Layton, Utah, in a specific neighborhood. Like there is an opportunity for you to tag them as a specific neighborhood, put them on a neighborhood nurture, and reach out to them and have a like long-term follow-up plan. I have a plan that's published that's like 0 edits that you could go put people on tomorrow for lead follow-up that goes for 18 months. And you could just edit the first email to tweak it to be specific to that neighborhood that you're prospecting, right? And these could all be done through you just pulling up your command app and then they're in there, or you add them in there and you just add them to a smart, right? So 19 to connect, it talks about it, providing people what they need, right? What they're asking for. That's how you're gonna build the relationship with them. Tailoring the message to inform them of their options and basically just taking away the fear that they have. You're giving them relevant information, right? Like you're giving them relevant content. Have you ever received an email, maybe a call, any type of marketing that was completely irrelevant to you? And you almost go, how did I get on this? However, if I get on some like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I like, most of the time maintenance stuff, but it's just like, if I get on that list, I'm not least bit surprised. I'm like, of course I got sucked into this funnel. But if I like start getting like camping equipment, then I'm like, where is this coming from? Yeah, exactly. And yet if it's relevant to me, I'll follow you along the road, right? Like I'll not unsubscribe. So our goal, the reason why we put connect is because we're trying to connect with somebody that will lead. On the right side, we're talking about 36 to convert. It's so that we are in, I would summarize 36 touch as intentional communication with our database so that the relationship is planned and meaningful. And then there is a solid chance they don't fall through the cracks, that they went to their neighborhood barbecue and we met that agent that was like, hey, oh, I was noticing like you just had a baby, you know, because there will always be an agent ready to date our client. I don't like that. So this is why it's important for us to be in relationships. Okay. This is an example of DTD2. You talk about that in this office. Okay. Doing the database 2 is a system so that you don't ever leave communicating with people. You don't leave no database member left behind, right? So there is a schedule per week. This is for 2024, by the way. So this screenshot is applicable to the current year we're in. There is a alphabet letter for calling and there's an alphabet letter for text. So rather than look at a big list of 300 names and go, oh, like she's kind of, I don't know, she's kind of grumpy last time. Like you start like creating reasons why you're not going to call people. And then next thing you know, you're just at lunch and you didn't like prospect today. Instead, we're just going to gamify it. You're like, 9 to 11, I'm calling you if your last name starts in an A and your last name starts in W, and you cannot hide from me. And I'm texting if your last name starts with N. And that is what I am doing today. And then the next week, that's going to be your new list. So by math, again, we like to bring up math when it's applicable. You have 26 letters of the alphabet. If you do 2 letters a week, 13 weeks times 4, you're going to cover everybody in your database 4 times a year. That's why this is my favorite system, because it gamifies it. We have a quarterly call plan in Command. And if you're like me, which I feel like I personality wise identify more with a real estate agent, we're just going to start getting a bunch of tasks that say call people. And then we just start ignoring our tasks. We're like, ugh.
We just clear all these tasks.
Yeah, you can 50 at a time. Yep. Because believe me, I've helped more agents clear the task than actually go implement the quarterly call. And that's why I do it this way. So the only thing you have to do from the start of setting up this system, and any one of our leadership members can show you how to do this, is you're just going in and creating these tags that I have right here. And then you're just going to go tag the people with that. Yeah.
We're doing that class on the 18th. At the workshops, we're gonna implement this in your command.
Perfect.
18th at 1, be there, be square.
In fact, it's a
And it's
workshop.
gonna include a couple things, right?
Yeah, it's gonna include multiple aspects of tagging your database, but it's gonna be the 18th from 1 to 4 workshop style. We'll have some time in here where we'll do a little bit of training and teaching, but we're gonna be in here to answer questions, work with you one-on-one, whatever is required, so you walk out with this done.
Database focus.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, hold up. So what should I be doing? But I don't know what to do with my hands, right? 201 Club. I know all of you have 201 people in your phone. So, getting your database in command is your first step, right? And then after you join the 201 Club, like you open up the app and it's like got confetti, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's more about like the money you're gonna make than the confetti, but we'll throw in the confetti. Okay, download the command app, we talked about that. D2D2, tags, smart views, I think you'll probably touch on that. Make sure your marketing profile is completed. So what you're gonna do once your database is in command, you're going to start to communicate and market to people through command. And that marketing profile is attached to everything that you send. So you wanna just make sure it doesn't have like, I've helped a lot of Salt Lake agents, we just moved offices, like they all, like a lot of them had the old brokerage address and stuff like that. So it's always good just to like look at it. Is it current? Does it have my current logo? That kind of stuff. And then, smart plans, just start with one, honestly, you going in and adding you, like anybody that you have an address on, going and adding them to the neighborhood nurture is a very low hanging fruit, smart plan of just communication that they're gonna get every month, or if you add bi-weekly, twice a month, just of an area they're interested in, because oh, by the way, they own a house in that neighborhood. Yeah.
I was just gonna add, one more class that we're gonna teach is on the 28th. So these are sort of companions.
Oh, good.
So lead gen on the 18th, on the 28th, it's all about smart plans and setting up your 36 touch. So again, workshop style, come in, we'll teach concepts, but we'll also be available to sit and work with you. So you walk out with actual 36 touch plans set up with your agents.
What
Or
time?
your clients. Sorry,
What time?
from 1 to 5,
So we've got the 18th, 1 to 4,
1 to 5,
1 to 5.
Yep.
And then what date?
28.
28.
We're putting a big window of time, so there's not a bunch of excuses. You find something in there to show up, right?
Yeah, they don't need to come for the full.
No, you don't need to, it's not a show up for 4 hours and be there all day. It's workshop style, come, we're here to help.
Oh, and you're gonna leave us with it implemented.
Yep.
And if you don't, you're done.
I mean, great.
You're dead.
Okay, so we don't have to, you guys are gonna go through all of this at the class, but really being able to communicate at least bi-weekly with your database. So I will say the content of an email doesn't change lives. So sometimes people are like, oh, does this look okay? And I think the most important thing is that your brand or your name shows up in their inbox every 13 to 15 days. And also that the main reason that that's beneficial is it's consistent. So you stay top of mind. And so when you're calling them 4 times a year, it's not like, wait, who? I mean, you've just been popping up as a Eden Mortal, here's your monthly market update, you know, so again, because most of us skim through our emails anyway, right?
At least they're getting a reminder that, hey, Kimber's in real estate. Oh
Yep.
yeah, Eden, or oh yeah, Cole. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
Learn about the content,
Yep.
see their name.
And then tracking your lead gen activities. So this is, I'm gonna have a QR code at the last that you can scan the code book, and we'll send this out too. But our KW code book is basically the manual for command. So if I wanted to know, how do I track my lead gen activities in command? The code book's gonna break it down, like, here's the reports you can get, here's how you track your activity. You actually have to turn on your activity tracker for you to see it. So you could potentially not know that activity tracking exists in Command. Most people don't until they go through this and see this. So that's something that we're gonna share on the last QR code. I think the next slide is like the closeout like hype video that they played at family reunion. Who was at family reunion? Okay, so you're gonna see this again if you were there, but love a good hype video. Okay, that's gonna be the last slide. So here's the goal. You're gonna have an exceptional database in the next 90 days. After we went through that, is anybody like, thanks for the class, but I'm all set? No, like really, there's not a wrong answer. So everybody in this room has at least one thing that they're like, I'm gonna check that out. We're gonna refine that. Okay, that's great. All of our touches, so we already have a class for this. We have it time blocked, so we're good there. All of your touches are going to be planned, implemented, and possibly leveraged. Because I know like one of you was like, I don't have time for this. Leveraged. And leveraged is our workshop, right? We're going to help you to set it up. And then I just want to add this because I think sometimes it gets skimmed over. I think if we have like coaches, our coaches are always going to ask us like, how many contacts did you make? All of that, but we have to be tracking our lead gen activities. We have to be tracking how many conversations am I having with about real estate? What am I converting? How many people am I adding to my database? Like what am I doing? And if I'm not seeing enough result, what do I need to refine in order to get more of a result, right? Every single person here, our time is extremely valuable. And I want everybody to get the most out of the time that they spend within these walls, lead generating on this business, right? That's time away from the people we love, from our family. And so if we are calling 3 hours a day and we don't have any, we're not setting any appointments, that's not right or wrong or bad. It just is. And then how can we as a brokerage like help you refine that? If you don't know, if you just come into Eden's office and say, I don't know, I've just been calling a lot. Like, I just feel like I'm calling people. She is going to be able to help you so much better if you're like, this is the list I'm calling, this is how many people, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm saying. Like, we can help you with anything, but you have to kind of have your own baseline of what it is that you need help with so that we can help you. So does that make sense as far as like what your goal is? Yes.
Can I just add something?
Please.
So this is something that actually we started incorporating within our team.
Yeah.
process, Is like in growing our database, having like seeing your progress of tracking your numbers. So we put a little spreadsheet together where it shows our current number in our database. Like we do this every week. So we have our current number in our database. How many are just, we have only how many we have address, phone number, and email, how many we only have their address, only their email, or only their phone number, so we can see where we have areas for improvement. We have tracked like how they're tagged, if they're on the Volt, like the Volt TV2s, the B, like all of our different, we have all that tagged and how many are tagged in that. And so then we can see areas of improvement, and then we can identify where, conversations we could tweak conversations. Like if we have 200 people have phone numbers, but we don't have those missing pieces, we now have a conversation starter with how do we ask for address and email, or how do we ask for that? What's the value we can provide when we're having those conversations? And so we started incorporating that like just recently, and Ashley's like thinking about like her numbers every week. I just love seeing the progress.
So I'll pick on you, Ashley.
That's what we're trying to
Do you feel like, I mean, I know the answer is yes, but maybe just elaborate on it. Like, how much more effective do you feel in the time? Because you probably are committing the same amount of time coming into the office. How much more effective do you feel? Like, what has been the difference? Just
Way more. What you actually do. Like, my command I go and talk to that person in a while, but it really, like, people don't, they don't.
I love that.
And we were also able to see, like, she came in with so many people in her database, and we've actually reduced people from her database, because we were able to filter out the people that she doesn't have the job.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would much rather you have a smaller group of people, that they're your people, and we grow from there, versus having all these people, and you're just like,
Yeah, and you look at that number and you can almost predict, right? You look at that 300 and you go do your math problem and you're like, okay, we should be doing 12 deals this year based on that. But if it's just like, I love when people are like, I have 1,200 people on my database, I just like imported 7 lists, and I'm like, okay. But it's just like, okay, start first. Okay, who, okay. What you
and
yeah, what are we doing?
she does dental work twice a week, like she works 2 full days a week, so she has like really only 3, like during the week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays that she leaves in.
Yeah,
And so I'm so proud of like what she does. So now she knows exactly, like, we're making her time matter, like in her weekend. Working very.
But I'm like already, yeah, like I can spend that time figuring out how to be more successful. Getting that corporate.
that is everything. That's huge. Thank you for adding that. That was an awesome comment.
And a leverage plug for that, I actually have my assistant going through, because a lot of my database is on social media. So I did the message and then she's sending it to everyone, like, hey, I'm missing your address. We send out this, can I get your address? So it's showing them why we want it and then just updating.
Perfect. Yes, and like, just leverage is so key. So key, and I understand sometimes we're working towards getting it. Okay, now we can watch the hype video, okay?
Does it have the iPhone?
Oh, wait, does that sound, it's not the same.
We gotta pause.
We have to start it over. Like,
So important.
better than, we gotta start. I'm like, why? Okay, pretend it just started.
Now we get the hype video.
Now we get the-
Oh my gosh, it's so much better.
Boom. Great job. Isn't that a cool?
You guys do that. Couldn't tell if it was really flying or if it was in the video.
Okay, what, we'll send out the slides, any questions, or just like, maybe share something that you wrote down, like that you had a little.
When
Little
is Canva
check-in.
gonna combine?
What'd you say?
When is Canva gonna be combined?
Oh, that's a fun question. I don't know. I don't know, and I do know that they're gonna get, a design facelift. I'll give you that. I don't know who the, like, yeah. I'll let you know when I know.
Keep it on your rock, like, wait.
Anyone else?
Can you,
There's something better coming. I don't know if it's by means of.
can you expand on the Canva, connection to command?
Yeah, so there
Thanks,
isn't
Stephanie.
one. It's, yeah.
I think it'd be cool to touch on like integrations about like what can I integrate with?
Yeah, so when you log into Command, there's a discrete button that looks like a little storefront and it's just marketplace. So that is usually the area that if I'm sitting down with like a top team that they are using a different CRM or using a different platform and they're wanting to know how they can use Command, right? The cool thing is in our marketplace, we have a lot of integrations, specifically things like anything that API Nation is something that allows you to connect different platforms within Command as your CRM. An API connection is a two-way. So example would be if I have my Google contacts in my Gmail, and then I have an API Nation connection set up with Command, then anytime I add something into Gmail, a contacts, then it will go into Command. That is an awesome system. And if you don't necessarily have a system around it, then it can be a total nightmare. Because if you have like an assistant adding in a contact in Command, and then you go at it in your Google contacts, and now there's like duplicates. So it's an awesome system if you have a system around it. My favorite integration, just specifically because there are limits, but there's not a lot. I use Zapier a lot. So Zapier is a system where basically I'll give you an example. If you have a lead aggregator, like it's called like ZBuyer, okay? If I go on Zapier and look up ZBuyer, because that's a lead aggregator that I pay for. As long as it's set up in Zapier, and I would say more often than not, I find what I'm looking for, then anytime I get a lead through ZBuyer, I can just have it directly funneled to Command. So Command integrates with Zapier. I know that's kind of level 3000 with Command, but usually if you have an outside system, if you have like I use it a lot for even like Eventbrite, for example. Eventbrite is a system that collects names and phone numbers and emails. I can set up a Zapier connection, have it funnel into my Command. And so if I receive contacts from an event that I do, I can have that connection, take them straight into Command. So that's the things I like, is that the platform by itself, I think sometimes people go, oh, okay, well, it's just like any other CRM and I have this one. And usually if you use another CRM, I like to, it's called a tech audit, and that's why we have that QR code. I like to go through with an agent. What are you currently using? What are you using it for? And what is the return that you're getting on using that? A lot of times Command doesn't have something that potentially another CRM does, and that's okay. I like to ask you the question, okay, that button that you said you love, it's just the coolest button ever. What does that do for your business? Usually if it doesn't save time, doesn't make it that you can get more leads, usually it's just like a button that you like, we can kind of shift to where you're going to capture leads in Command. So it's straightforward for us, obviously, that are in the tech every day. And that's why we help you kind of navigate. If you do something outside of Command, let us help you figure out if there's a way to not only to do it in Command, but to optimize it. And so what I just shared with you is like, it's kind of a higher level thing.
Does it just mean that Zapier's like the middleman?
Yeah, so it just funnels in so you basically just say, where is it coming from? Where is it going? And as long as the where it's coming from and where it's going is an option in Zapier based on them being a provider, then it's easy. Yeah, it's just if it's not there, then. But Command is cool because then when it's, where is it coming from? Let's pretend it doesn't matter what it is. Where it's going is Command. It sets up the contact name. You can identify the tag, the lead source. So it just adds a little bit of ease. You can do up to 5 zaps for free, so technically it's not even something that you have to add on an additional monthly. Versus API Nation would be a monthly fee to connect. Kind of went nerdy on you for a second, but that was just like a other thing. Hey, sorry, everything's awesome. Guys, thank you. You are welcome. You guys feel good? I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Okay, we're kind of on time and I'm sorry to keep it for 2 seconds, but there's 2 things also that I want to share with you because we, as an office, want to provide more resources for you than just command. So there's 2 that I want you to be aware of right now. When Kimber was talking about leverage, one of the leverage things that we have is our office is provides a service called Scott Leroy Marketing. Everybody might be aware of Scott Leroy Marketing, they might not be. But it's an additional tech service. It's like another layer of support that we provide to you guys. So if there's like little one-off things that you need help with, like if you need to upload a spreadsheet, or if you want to create a quick design, or, you know, add the DTD2 tags to your database, send an email to Scott Leroy and they'll just do it for you. So if there's just like little tasks that maybe you could even think like, could an admin do this? Send it to Scott Leroy, anything command, like, they're here for you to do that. So to save you time, just shoot them an email. And their standard, their expectation is if it's not a same day turnaround, it will be done within 24 hours. So they're freaking fast. If you've got quick questions at, you know, midnight on stuff, like send them an email. Obviously we're here to help. But if there's execution that you want help with, please reach out to Scott Leroy Marketing. Their email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'll write it here and I'll send it out in our recap email. The other thing that I want to share with you guys is we have these sign writers. Who has not seen these sign writers? They're very cool. And we've had these for a long time, but these are a service that we pay for you guys called Dot Signal. And these codes, we can custom or link these codes to be for your specific listing. So you'll hang these on your signs. And if somebody texts, you know, this number to this number, what's going to happen is that person, that potential client is going to receive a text message with your information on it. Here's the listing agent information. Here's their phone number. Click here for more properties on the property. So they'll get a text with all the information about the property, but then you'll get a text with their information, and it's legit phone numbers because it's coming from the number that they're texting with their sign. So that's another way that we can help you get real leads real time. Another thing that I like to suggest is you can create these into like a QR code, or you can use this code on like any of your print marketing. So if you're running paid ads, you could do text this number to this number to get more information. So you can expand your reach on your lead servicers through print marketing and digital marketing, whatever you want, aside from just putting it on the sign. So if you want these sign writers, Chris, are you okay with that? Everybody come to Chris and Nicole and we'll get you coordinated with this, but every single listing, like we provide these to you guys. So you should have everything on the listings. Okay.
Just the one time, so you paid for this one time, I think it's like $10.
You pay for as many sign writers.
Right, so if I have this on a listing, it's gonna be on this listing, 123 Main Street, when that listing sells, I can put this exact same sign writer on my next one.
Right.
We just upload the new listing to it.
So much fun.
Or if you wanna make that sound, you can too.
I want one
That's
just
worth,
for that.
that's worth the price of admission right there. There's not a month, what she meant by, there's not a monthly fee that we're gonna charge you,
Yeah.
or a per listing, you just gotta buy the sign for the writer.
Sweet. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. We're gonna bring up our lunch sponsor real quick. We have Rocket Mortgage, I believe. Bring them up. Are they ready? Bring it on up.
Hey, how are you? Morning, or not good morning. Officially, good afternoon. Is there a way we can connect the?
You know, can you just share it with me? Can I share it with me? You think I should start?
Oh, well, there's a video that I wanted to share.
Okay.
Would it not work with it?
It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't? What about YouTube? Does it YouTube?
Hey, what do you think about this?
What about connecting this to it? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a lame presentation.
Okay, well, that works perfect.
Okay, all right, cool. But it sound, I hope it sounds.
The gamble. Yeah, it's go. Good go.
Yeah, well, all right.
Sometimes I listen to you. Sometimes I talk about that. Wait, I think. Same.
Well, hello, everybody. Morning. Or afternoon. Yeah, I got you guys. Okay, so,
Voted until I.
okay, right. And do you guys want to eat first? I know, like,
Oh,
yes. Okay, yeah, well, we got some sandwiches and water and chips over there. And Claudia is graciously helping us with the plates, because shame on me, I forgot the plates. So anyways, my name is Peter Lee, Sylvina Pratt is over here, and we're both with Rocket Mortgage. Just quick, how many was here last time we were here, like 3 months ago? Okay, awesome, thank you. Some of the stuff is gonna be redundant, but I do have a little bit of new information. As Rocket has kind of laid out their 5-year plan, I wanted to share a portion of that with you guys as well. Okay, so just real quick, this is kind of my bullet point of the presentations. Meet Peter Lee and Sylvina, who is Rocket Mortgage. How is Rocket Mortgage transforming your business, mortgage services, and mortgage products? So a little bit about me. I was born in Korea, and I came to the States in 1980, and I've been a citizen since the year 2000. Been with Rocket for, I think, going on 5 months now, 4 to 5 months. But I've been in the industry for a long time, since 2002. I think that's like, what, 22 or 20, about 22 years-ish. Helped a lot of people, been a top producer at Citibank, Zions, California Bank and Trust. And the reason why I joined Rocket Mortgage is because I knew the value of this organization as a competitor. And I've been living in Utah for, I think this is going on my 4th year, and I love it. The lifestyle, if you guys are my Facebook friends, you guys know that I'm always up on the slopes doing stuff and things like that. So I'm so happy to call myself a Utahn. As far as the next one, Sylvina. Oh, okay. Well, we'll go back to Sylvina then. Okay, so who is Rocket Mortgage? Maybe I can show you a quick video of what we just recently had. Let me see here. Hopefully the sound. Yeah. Oh. Doesn't work.
Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Sylvina, I was about to introduce you and then you went away.
Yeah, sorry.
You wanna give your quick,
Introduction.
yeah?
Okay, so I'm from Argentina. I came many years ago when I was 12. I don't want to tell you how old I am because it's way too much. Been in the mortgage industry since 2002, and I worked with a lot of local financial institutions since then. And I have these two are twins, but these two now are almost 16 years old and they're driving. So I'm excited for that. So I don't have to drive them around anymore. And I love my job. I love doing mortgages. They become challenging, but that's the fun part.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let me just, if I can, just share you a quick presentation.
the next era of rocket is here.
I'm not simply Taylor Swift, but it's me, Dan Gilbert.
What do you think, Darren? Is it time to get this show on the road?
I think it's about time. Today, each of you will hear more about our current mission, which will be unlike any that has come before.
The mission was truly clear, help everyone home. Now we're able to spend family time in a living room, have dinner in a dining room from the bottom of my heart.
We will boost all of our team members with AI.
Are you ready?
Let's check it out.
Today is about shared alignment, but us taking that step together.
So who is the heart of this entire rocket? From the radio.
Okay, cool. I wanted to share that because you guys all went to the Keller Williams family reunion. And it was spectacular, so I figured I'd share something a little bit about what we did. You guys had Tony Robbins come, right? Yeah, we had Dr. Dre. Anyways, so the reason why I wanted to share that was because I wanted to share kind of our mission statement, which is help everyone home. Oh, did I skip it? Oh, I guess it's not up. Okay, my apologies. It's help everyone home. And we have like these 4 values that we look at. Oh God, it's not even here. All right, so anyways.
Like, give us like a quick update on like rates, and then I can send out the slides to everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, I know you guys are super hungry. So hey, Sylvina, you want to just real quick, just kind of go over some of the stuff that we have maybe?
So our new theme for Rocket for the next 5 years is to help everyone home. So does anyone know what that means? Give me something. Give me an idea what that means. Help everyone home.
Everybody gets along.
Everyone.
So essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to capture at least 20 to 25 market share in the mortgage industry. So as part of that, you know, we are a direct lender and servicer. We have a national footprint, and that's one of the things that we're trying to do. What the video tried to portray was that we have this 5-year plan. We're incorporating AI technology into everything that we're doing, from marketing to the loan process and things like that. So it's going to help us in our business in the sense that it's going to make us a lot more efficient, meaning that it'll allow us to basically do more. And what we should be doing which is originating, captivating clients. So that's essentially what that part is. When I first joined the company, I thought Rocket was just like a one tall building with a few thousand employees. But as you saw in that stadium, we have more than 18,000 people working for Rocket Mortgage. It's a huge organization. It's probably arguably bigger than UWM. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, the wholesale company. But essentially, that's what we got going on. Just some of the stats that we do. I have this. Oh, we have 1 more minute? Okay. What can I do in 1 more minute? So I'll just give you some of the stats that we have right now. With Rocket Mortgage, you know, we're very known for online presence. Everyone goes to like Lending Tree or whatever. they put in their information, and that's where the whole home buying process starts, right? It starts in the online search. Well, we own a lot of those mortgage companies, the online like lending tree and stuff like that. So on average, it looks like we get about 9,000 leads a week. And of those, I think we have about 340 that are brokered through Rocket Wholesale, like our third-party originations. We have about 788 locks within a week, about 800 applications, and within this week, we have about 700 closings that we're doing. Right now, we're trying to grow to maybe possibly, especially in March, we're doing this thing called March Madness. So like me and Sylvina right now, we're under huge pressure to get leads and try to get these loans closed. So we have the leads that are coming through that we also sometimes connect with our real estate partners. So if you are looking for another mortgage company to work with, Sylvina and I are available. We'd love to partner with you and possibly just kind of on a long-term basis, looking at doing deals with you guys. So I know there's not a whole lot of time, and sorry, I didn't realize I have such a short amount of time, but if you have any questions or anything, I'd love to connect with you. I'll leave some cards, so can leave some cards and maybe just chit chat a little bit. So I appreciate the opportunity here and look forward to kind of rubbing shoulders with you guys some more.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Kimber, for coming over. I appreciate it. So we'll play How do you know?
Yeah, when it just slides down. You're gonna talk about all the-